Hello. How are you? I was on this tour bus ride in when I was in Thailand recently, last month, along with a group of people who were attending the conference. And the person who was our tour guide was a Thai person. Uh, and Bao was his name. And when he would enter the bus and he would start the tour with us, all he would say is, hello. Hello. And I just can't say it the way the Thais say things. They're very sweet in how they speak. And we became such a big fan of this person on the bus. Every time he would enter, he would say that, and then we would all respond back to him. And it was such a beautiful, very beautiful relationship that he had developed with all of us through his something as simple as hello. So, hello everyone, and I am Namita Purohit. I am here with day three of the Life Coach Career Opportunities, Challenges, and Earnings training. Uh, we've been doing some massive work, and I hope you are focused on your ebook, the workbook that I've sent to you. And I'm trying to open it also. And I hope you have been doing the workbook for day one and day two and day three. And if you haven't, then catch up. Take those 30 minutes off and catch up on day one and day two because if you're not doing the workbook, you are missing out on a lot of stuff, which I don't want you to miss out on. And I want you to stay current with all of us. And yes, good morning, good evening, and nice to have all of you here today. And we're starting out. So, day one, we talked about the truth about the life coaching career, what it takes to succeed, and why certification matters. And yesterday, we talked about, what did we talk about? Let's look at our notes. Yesterday, we talked about the inner fears. We went through the workbook and the inner fears. Then we looked at, who's qualified and who's not qualified to become a coach. And our take home was that everyone is qualified as long as we have emotional regulation. We're not carrying a victim mindset, and we have some tech skills. And what defines success as a life coach is the success of the client, right? And then we talked about the various coaching niches that are available to you that you can use. You can do using the ease model. And finally, we talked about USP. So there was homework for you where the discussion was about both days. It was about trying to understand your USP, why you want to serve, what are your inner fears, what can you do to overcome them, who do you want to serve, demographics, and things like that. That was from yesterday's training. What type of coaching business do you want to set up? Is it one on one? Is it is it group? Is it courses? Is it workshops? Which demographic of clients do you want to serve? Gender, ethnicity, etc. And you're going to see more of the importance of that, the niching down. Um, Today when we talk about the five ways in which masterful coaches run a fantastic coaching session. And we're going to talk about also we're going to talk about something really fun today, and that is also tips to choose the right coach certification program for you. And in your workbook, you also had how big or small do you want to be in terms of the amount of revenue and the clients you serve each year. You get a lot more clarity about that when you do the business modules, business with ease. That's what it is. And what are some of your USPs? And I talked about my USP, and each one of us has been blessed with a certain USP. And we want you to tap into that and use that in serving your clients, right? Now, day three is the five game changing coaching methodologies, techniques that masterful coaches use. How can you master them? And what is the right way to select the right coach certification program? Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. And why is this important? Because we're talking about life coach career, opportunities, challenges, and earnings. There are many, many opportunities out there to set up a successful coaching practice. Now, for you to be successful, you want to know what are the great coaching techniques that you want to learn, that you want to focus on. And today we're going to talk about five of them, right? Now, masterful coaches, point number one, masterful coaches are very clear about who they can serve and who they cannot serve, who they want to serve and who they don't want to serve. They're very specific about who they serve. So there will be 1,000 people approaching them for coaching, but they may say no to a lot of them because they're not in that zone of people who they can serve and who they want to serve. Now you're like, what? Masterful coaches can coach anybody? Why do you say that, Namita? Yes, masterful coaches can coach anybody, but you can bring the horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink. Some people are just not coachable. Some people are just not coachable. They're just not coachable. And no matter how much you try to coach them, they're not going to make any transformation. Some people sign up for coaching, pay for all of it, but they're just looking at you as a vent. They just want to come and dump their emotions on you. And masterful coaches don't take those clients as well, because those clients are coming still with a victim mindset, are not looking for a change, are focused on, hey, my life was bad and this was wrong, and my life has been horrible, and so many wrong things are happening in my life. But they're not, and they just want to focus on venting and on getting that attention and feeling good. Yeah, venting helps them feel good, helps them feel better, but there is no change. And masterful coaches don't want to waste their time in that, right? Because it's boring. I'm telling you, it's boring to be in an appointment where your client is wanting to make no change at all. They don't want to make any change at all. It's boring to be in that appointment where they're just blaming, where they're just venting, and no matter how many interventions you're doing, they're making no change at all, right? And you would rather spend your time with the client who's making that transformation. Now, the thing is, when you sit with clients like that, they don't make any transformation. You finish your coaching engagement with them. When people ask them how was your coaching was, they're like, हाँ ठीक ही था, इतना भी कुछ नहीं है, वो सब तो मुझे भी पता था. But the point is, वो सब उनको नहीं पता था. They didn't want to go beyond that. No matter how much you tried to coach them, no matter how many interventions you did, no matter how many hard questions you asked them to, challenge their thinking, they didn't want to do that. Now, what happens is your coaching gets a bad rep. You don't get enough word of mouth referrals. And plus, you were just bored throughout that coaching engagement because you saw no measurable transformation with your client, right? So, masterful coaches are very clear about who they want to serve. They're very specific about their niche, the type of people, the demographic, the category of one, their own category of one that they have claimed in the market, and they stay focused on that. Now, therefore, defining your niche is also extremely important in coaching. And those who join between now in the next 3.5 hours, like till 11:30 a.m. Uh, IST, December 17th, 11:30 a.m. IST, will get the fast action bonus, which is define your coaching niche. Now, I haven't just put that bonus just in there, right? Because when your niche is clear, you know who you will serve, you know who you cannot serve, right? Now, if I am in the niche of helping people, couples in relationships, and that's my expertise, and that's what I do, and that's what all my reviews are about, and that's what I do. Now, if I have a single person trying to get married or get over their divorce, maybe that's not the area of expertise I'm in. Now, would I want to then go jump? And you may think, I can coach anybody. Yeah, you can coach anybody. I had one student when he did the define your niche coaching training, and then I asked him, "What's your niche?" And he said, "Relationship coaching." And I said, "Which relationship coaching?" He's still not convinced, and I hope he does really well, and I know he will do very well. He's a very sincere student. He said relationship coaching, and then I asked him, "Which relationship?" There is too many relationships out there, relationships at between your boss and yourself, relationships with your spouse, relationships within the family, relationships with your children, relationship with friends, and what stage of relationships, like a marriage, people who are married for 20 years versus a new marriage. And he's like, no, but I can handle everything. I said, what if you're in a group call and you have somebody talking about, mother-in-law relationship issues, somebody talking about, I don't get along with my dad, and somebody else talking about them having difficulties with their wife or husband, and all of that is happening, and how are you going to cater to everyone? And he said, I can, because the principles of relationship are common across the board. And I said, yeah, they are common across the board, principles of relationships, but but what kind of marketing are you going to do? Because when you're putting out the marketing on your LinkedIn, on your social media, on your Instagram, on your things, which specific audience are you serving, so that when they read you, when they see you, they feel like, wow, this person really gets me? And then how will you design your workshops, and how will you design your thing? Are you just going to give general principles of relationships, or are you going to be more specific about those particular relationships? And I feel that when you're starting out, you want to be more specific, because and then you can grow and start being more general, because it's easier for you to handle it, and it's easier for you to do things, and you learn a lot of that and a lot more in define your coaching niche. The ease fast action bonus that we have, that's valid for people who join before now. It's like 3 hours 15 minutes from now, at 11 till 11:30 a.m. IST. It gives you that clarity so that you can follow tip number one of becoming a masterful coach, which is about being very specific about who you want to serve. And once you learn that technique of defining your niche and being specific about who you want to serve, you're going to use that technique for life, because you're going to keep fine tuning, and you're going to keep evolving, and you're going to keep changing, and you're going to keep needing that as you develop new programs. So you get access to that training. And the second great quality of masterful coaches is active listening and communication. It's not that your client says like a boatload of stuff and you're like, okay, so tell me more about your relationship with your husband. I got that. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I'm not even going to check if I understood you well. But now, okay, fine, I got it. Tell me the next thing. No. Masterful coaches are active listening. And what is active listening? They are responding, they are summarizing, they are repeating what they have heard. They're responding very specifically to the feelings that the client is evoking and the content of what they're saying. So if a client goes like, you know, my child had this accident, and and I was so nervous, and I didn't know what to do, and then my child was screaming, and I was all alone on the road, and his bike had hit the curb, and I didn't know what to do, and I was just so scared, and I just felt so powerless, and my child was crying, and oh god, and all of that, and and then some more, they'll give you like five more experiences maybe, and then all of that, like yeah, it's just so, my life is so overwhelming, it's just so overwhelming. And that's what they're saying to you, right? And an active listening is you don't let them say all five incidents in one stretch and then you give a summary. No, you're interjecting every two statements you're interjecting, and you're saying that, oh, so you felt really scared, alone, and vulnerable and powerless when your child had an accident, and when you were alone, you found yourself alone in that zone, and you didn't know what to do, right? You're giving them a summary, and they'll be like, no, no, I didn't feel alone. I just felt like so lost. I didn't know what to do, right? You're getting an opportunity to clarify exactly what they're feeling, right? And then you go like, okay, so you felt very scared, vulnerable, and felt very lost because your child had an accident, and there was nobody else on the street, and you didn't feel equipped to help your child and to calm your child down, and you were not carrying your phone. That's another detail they gave you, right? Now, when you do that, you see how the client has got an opportunity to clarify exactly what they were feeling. Now, when they clarify what they're feeling, it gives you an window into what thoughts were going down, what belief systems were going down, what needs were not satisfied, right? Now, then they will tell you about something else, and like, and so many other incidents where they felt lost and where they felt lonely and things like that. And then when you hear all of that and you do the responding to feeling and content for each one of them, and then you summarize towards the end from these different five different things that you have shared, my dear client, I see that you have been in situations where you have felt lost because you didn't have the information about how to solve, the difficulty you were in that situation. And that has created, and that's happened more often than not. And going through the roller coaster of emotions and all of those different situations has made you a nervous wreck, and you're wondering what you can do about it. Yes. So you're responding to feeling and content. That's active listening. And you're getting clarity. And you're curious and you're empathic, right? So you're helping them with feeling words to clarify their feelings, and you're helping them with summaries to help them understand that, oh, this is my feeling and this is exactly what had happened, and this is what I want, like, I my goal is this, and statements to help you do that. And we teach that in the coaching framework. And this is what I really want to do. And you're helping your client come to clarity about that, because right now their head is like full of thoughts and emotions and confusions, etc. And you're like untangling all of that, and you're giving them clarity by active listening and empathic communication and non-judgmental communication. You're not the expert on your client's life. We have to learn how to step into their shoes, their frame of reference. What does the world look like at when you stand at their vantage point, when you enter their being? And what does the world look like? And that only comes when you're curious, you're non judgmental, and you are realizing that the client is the expert on their life and you're here to learn. You have a hypothesis, you have understood something, but you're curious so that you can keep fine tuning, keep editing that hypothesis, and truly come up with a great stepwise solution for your client, right? And that's important. And step number three, like the technique number three that great coaches use, is powerful questioning. Because now, let's just do this example, the same example, right? Now, the client may just go on and on and on, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's why I'm not able to keep a job. That's why I'm not able to, like have any savings because I just feel so overwhelmed and so lost." And life can be hard. Life is overwhelming, and life can be hard for people, right? But sometimes you see that the client, you've done the responding to feeling and content. You've summarized that. You understood, help them get clarity on their goal. You made a goal statement with them, but at the same time, as you help them initiate action in taking steps towards their goal, you see a lot of but, what if, oh no, what if I fail again? What if I'm alone again, etc. And that is the moment, that is a time in the coaching stages where you use to ask powerful questions, right? Now, I was watching something recently, last month, and there was this lady who was very upset that her father did not show up for her wedding, right? This is in the Western context. And she's like, I'm a daughter, I'm the only child, and my dad didn't show up for the wedding. And then, like, then somebody asked her, like, did your mom come? And she's like, yeah, but why did your dad not come? Did you invite him? And like, mom is single, and like, dad separated, and he married another woman, etc. Turns out the dad didn't come because this lady put a condition that only you are welcome and not your second wife. And the dad was deeply hurt because he was living with that wife for the last 20 years. And he was attached to her and he loved her. And for him to come for this wedding, uh, without his wife would be disrespectful to that second wife, right? And this girl who was getting married, she was like, no, but how can I? But if you come with your second wife, that's disrespectful to my mother, and I'm not going to let you do that. And like being like that, and then with all of that, still judging the father for not showing up. And then there were some very powerful questions that needed to be asked to this client. And think about what questions needed to be asked to this client, because she's like, I want my dad to come to my wedding in my terms, and if he doesn't, then I'm going to act like this very hurt child who was alone all the time, and who and oh my god, I'm such a big victim and my dad didn't show up. But the point is you're not respecting his new way of life, and the choices that he has done, and let just invite him in the capacity of your dad, and don't get into those other things if you want him. And if you only want like parts of him and you don't want the whole package of him, then uh it's not going to work for you. Yes. So now, what powerful questions can you ask this client to challenge their thinking? There's a lot of entitlement there. I must get things the way I want. My dad must do what I want. My dad should have come to me and listened to my demands. And if he doesn't, then he's not a good dad. He's a neglectful dad. And my mom was right in divorcing him. And oh my God, I was alone and I had nobody to walk down the aisle, and I'm such a victim. Right? But who created that situation? The past is over. Who created that situation? So you have to ask powerful questions in that scenario, and you have to go like, so you're saying that when you invited your dad and you told him that he should not come with his wife, he should have still come, while disrespecting his second wife, and he should have still showed up for your wedding, and at the risk of disrespecting his second wife, and at the risk of spoiling the relationship that he has with the second wife that he's living, and breaking her heart also, just because you wanted things in a certain way. Like, why, and you have to challenge their thinking that, hey, you want people to revolve around you. You want people to do things around you, and that's a lot of entitlement. And therefore, you had nobody to walk you down the aisle. And that challenging of thinking again needs to be done in a very empathic and a very kind way. Yes. So that is step number the masterful technique number 3, and we teach that at ease also, is powerful questioning. So, technique number 1 is being very specific about who you want to serve, which clients you serve, and which people you don't serve. The second thing is active listening and empathic communication. The third thing that we talked about is powerful questioning. And the fourth thing is keeping the client focused on the outcomes. Now, in this example, the client then went into like, okay, my coach is not listening to me. And, my wedding was such a disaster. The flowers were not the flowers I wanted. And you're like, okay, my client is not focused on this issue, is digressing from this issue because it's too hard, and she doesn't want to own up. But as a service to my client, and with respect and with empathy and with compassion, and knowing that owning up is hard, and knowing that looking within is hard, I am still going to help my client look into that situation and understand her pattern there. Yes. Now that is how you keep the client focused, because as soon as they see a hard thing, they want to go away when they actually paid you to get coached. Yeah. So that's one thing. The second thing is, when you sign up with a client, you are asking them what outcomes you're looking for, because coaching is very outcome focused. They sign up with you for a package or for a number of sessions, and you remain focused on those outcomes, because every person has layers and layers in their life. Now, are you going to address each and every layer of their life and each and every issue that they're dealing with? And there's a lot of stuff, and therefore you have to keep the client focused on the top 3 outcomes. And we teach you a process where you are, when you're doing your intake, you are taking in exactly what they want to focus on. And in your first session, you and your client have agreed upon that, okay, the entire coaching engagement with you, this entire package, we're going to stay focused on these outcomes, right? Because the clients can keep moving, right, in their heads, right? And they're very curious about your knowledge, and they're like, I want to learn this, and tell me more about that. And like, uh, this is not a knowledge session, this is a transformation session. Yes. So, and then sometimes they don't want to do the hard work. They have those outcomes where they don't want to do the hard work. But the point is, they signed up with you to do the hard work, and it's your duty, your ethical duty, to help them do that hard work. And how do you do that, right? So the client may come to you for the top 3 outcomes in my life are to get a promotion, to sort my finances, and to have, better wellness, right? If that's their goal. And then suddenly they start talking about, they could either digress from doing the hard work in those situations, as I talked about, give you an example, or they could suddenly be like, but no, 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 Namita, what you do with, this karma stuff and ancestral stuff is very, very interesting. Tell me more about that. So tell me, which karma of mine is now acting out in this life? And then if you answer that, then they'll get into, okay, but with which lifetime it was? But why don't I remember? And then it becomes a knowledge session and not a transformation session, right? Now, in that situation, I sometimes ask this question, and I learned this from one speaker, is, how is the answer to this question going to help you achieve the 3 outcomes that we're trying to achieve here? I say that with a deadpan expression on my face, like a poker face. I just say it. And then they're like, uh, if I know, what karma I did, then I won't repeat it right now. I said, I said, your life is right now in a certain stage, and we've already identified the things you need to change in yourself so that you have a better life and a better outcome. So how is that discussion really contributing to this? How about we steer back to where we were, and we're focused on your outcomes and things like that? I understand the karma topic is very interesting for you. And how about I share some of my videos or share some articles or verses from the Bhagavad Gita for you to ponder upon at your own time? I don't like, let's stay focused on your goals in this appointment, right? So you have to keep bringing the client back on focus, because inner work is hard, growth work is hard, and you have to keep bringing back. So a masterful coach does that really well, and you learn that technique in the East Coast certification program. And there are many ways to do that, right? And you also help them overcome their mental conditioning. As point number five, through visualizations, energy work, to help them transform to, by working on states and the releases and guided visualizations, etc. The future self, the past self, the new self, the happy self. There's so many different ways to do that. And a masterful coach knows that it's not just about uh, talking words, it's also about energy shifts. It's about stepping into this new energy shift, making it into your muscle memory, also putting it into your physical body, this new way of being, a new way of thinking, and releasing the old ways of being and making a change in that whole energy imprint. And masterful coaches knew how to do that. And you learn that in the East Coast certification program. We cover that, right? Now, we've covered the five important things that masterful coaches do in running a successful coaching engagement and then helping their clients make rapid transformation, because your goal as a coach and your success as a coach is also that the client does not stick around with you for the same issue for a very long time. If they do, then you're not doing your coaching well. They can keep coming to you, but for different other aspects of their life and not the same aspect of your life. And you're a master, you're going to help them make that shift really fast. Now, we've gotten that. Now, today, the second part of the program is that thank you for being here for this long. And that means that you're really interested, that you're really looking to, grow in your coaching profession or coaching skills. Now, can you do all of this yourself? If you can, great. You don't need the remaining part of this talk today. But if you can't, and if you feel that no, you really need to learn these skills, and you can't, struggle alone. You need a support. You need accountability so that you can learn, start and finish, and you can start coaching people, and you have the toolbox, and you have the proven skills of coaching with you. Then it's important that you check out a good coach certification program. And right now, all of this training that I'm doing is part of my promotions for the open cohort for December for the 6-month East Coast certification program. But let's just look at some tips that you need to check out to know which certification program is good for you. So here I will start with sharing some, maybe not. I think sharing screen gets complicated. I do better nowadays without screen. Okay. Now and then, okay. Now there are five things you should look for when you're looking for a training program for coaching, right? There are millions of training programs for coaches of different budgets and different levels and things like that. And I'm going to share with you five tips of what to look for in a coaching program. And tip number one is that you want to see that the coaching institute, the coach certification program that you join, whether it's a person driven or an institute driven, and if, whatever that is, but are there are there values cleared out to you? Are there methodologies, what do they stand for, clear to you? Can you see the reviews and recommendations? uh, do they have a repeatable process to follow, a repeatable coaching method to follow, that they teach you also? Yes. And are they using that method in other places, right? So why do I say that is because I've heard this from a lot of people who call me, book a call with us, uh, or send us email about does your program have this? They'll tell me that they joined some online program, and they felt like they were drifting, and there was no proper structure to learning coaching techniques and methodologies, and then to be able to use that structure in like actually client coaching their clients. And therefore I look for person driven institutes versus institute driven institutes. Like faceless institutes, a little hard to know what they stand for, etc. But if it's a person driven institute connected to a person and their method and their methodology, etc., you get clarity on what they're doing, what they stand for, and whether you agree with them, whether you don't agree with them. And it's not very general then. When it's institute driven, you'll see their marketing is very general. When it's person driven, you'll see their marketing and what they put out and what they stand for, etc. It's very specific. So I personally like to go for person driven institutes. I don't care if they're big institutes or not. All my learning in any field has been with experts in that field, because really what the world sees is not which big school or small school or you're coming from. What the world rewards is expertise, and the ability. And it's not just like, oh, you're an expert and you know the subject really well. What they actually truly reward is whether you can give them the outcomes they're looking for, right? And it's easier to know that when you're with a person driven institute or wherever you're going. Make sure that you're getting a clear plan of how to coach. There are steps, there are repeatable steps where you can practice those steps and you can learn those steps and you can and they're using that model too, and they're able to teach that model well in an organized fashion. So that's important, that I feel that if I was looking for a program I would do that. And the second thing is are they coaching as well, or do they have other human development related training programs? And they may not be doing one-on-one coaching, but they may have other human development training programs, group coaching or online courses and things like that, or they may be doing one-on-one coaching too. Now, why do I say that? Because that helps them stay current. That helps the coach certification course also stay current, because when they are coaching other people continuously, they're doing that as well. They know how hard the market is. They know how the mindsets are shifting, or the world is shifting, and what's working and not working. And as they keep coaching other people, they are able to transfer those learnings into the coach certification program that they're running. So you're getting the cutting edge stuff, you're getting the evolution stuff, you're getting the updates from them, because they're constantly learning in the real world and then they are transferring their learnings to you. And you don't want to go through that whole learning curve with them. And but it's easy for them that whatever they're learning, they're transferring it to you and you're getting it easy in a package, right? But when they're not in that coaching side, uh, it may be like, I'm not saying they won't be current, but this is one indicator that they're current. Yes, so remember that. And next, I would look for is what is their certification process. Now, a lot of people like tell me like, "Itna kya lamba time hai aapka? 6 6 mahine kya lagte hain?" And I said, you can do it in 4 months if you want. We're not stopping you, but it's a lot to take in. And this is not just a knowledge thing, right? You're also applying the techniques that you're learning in the code certification program on yourself. As I said yesterday and the day before, you are your first client and you're applying those techniques, and this knowledge is very deep. What I'm sharing in the program is, there's a lot over there, and it takes time for all of that to connect and go for it. And then they say that no, but on that institute is giving something to me in $250, and all I need to do is do their course. Now a lot of these courses, they give you a certificate of a coach certification program just because the online software can track whether you completed the training or not. And as soon as you complete the training, you'll get a certificate of being a coach in that particular niche. That happens. There are no calls. There is no community to ask your questions. You're just left alone. And that's why those programs can be cheap. But at the same time, I don't think those are good certification programs, because uh, you really don't know what you've learned. And just by going through a course, unless there is a place where you can exchange information, you can write things down, you can ask your questions, you can have a certification process where you're submitting things, assignments, they're getting reviewed, you're getting feedback. It's not going to shape your own coaching philosophy. And therefore, beware of those programs. And all this thing that मुझे ठप्पा चाहिए. मैं ये certificate, if I get this certificate, then how is it going to help me get more opportunities? You know what? No certificate is going to help you get any opportunities. I'm telling this to you. Because even after you get the certificate, you may go to the best institute, the top, the most famous institute, right? Even after you get that, what's going to happen? You still have to have your own method. You still have to be clear about your niche, and you still have to be doing the marketing and the heavyweight lifting. And none of that comes automatically, right? And any institute you go to, you still have to market yourself on the own. I've seen people from the best top institutes not do well as coaches, whereas other people who are very clear with their methodology, who are very good and effective as coaches, and who are good at their marketing in reaching out to the people and sharing with them how they can coach them and how they can help them achieve the outcomes. And if they have that expertise and they have a method for that, a stepwise method for that, they actually do better. So this whole mindset that we have is that I need to be in this top, I need to get a stamp of approval from an organization, then I can do well in life. No, doesn't work like that. Not in the coaching industry. Yes, a good institute will have a good program, right? That you can be risk free in that. But a good institute does not guarantee good business, or does not guarantee that the doors are open and everyone's coming to you, and corporates are inviting you and all of that. No, everyone wants to invite somebody who has a solution, who's established, and who knows what they're doing. And all of that you got to build, right? So remember that. Remember this next tip. And do they have a clear certification process? And accreditations help, but it just makes you feel that it's a little risk free. But doesn't mean that those who are not accredited will not be good programs. Now, for the matter of fact, East Coast certification program is not accredited, is not affiliated to anybody. The major reason for that is because I want to teach what I want to teach. I don't want an accreditation process to tell me that I can't include Eastern wisdom and I can't do this and I can't do that. No, I know this process works. I have used this on multiple clients, multiple people. We've done it in group settings and on through online courses, through one-on-one programs, through events. We just had an event in Dallas in November, and this process works. Now, I don't want an accrediting body telling me that no, none of this Vedic wisdom is going to work, and you got to have my wisdom, and you got to do it this way. No, and I'm not going to get accredited unless I get some accreditation where I am not asked to compromise my coaching methodologies and what I can teach. Now, therefore, you will see many institutes that are not accredited, and for the very same reason. So be thoughtful about that as well. And how invested are those organizations and their students and their learning? Are they showing up for the calls? Are they, supporting, through the certification process? What are they? You need to ask these questions when you join, because you don't want to be left alone. Now, nobody's going to do your assignments. Now, at ease, what we do is we have 4 group coaching calls a month. You have the modules, which are do it yourself at your own time modules, because everyone has adult lives and everyone's in different time zones. Now you have that. At the same time, you have calls where you can ask your questions. We have a community where you can post your questions and get answered and discuss different coaching scenarios and things like that. And there are reminders sent to you about, how many weeks are left and how much of it is, pending for you. And, so many things happen. So is that now, but are we going to do the assignments for you and are we going to keep you accountable, etc.? Yes, we will do our part, but you got to do your part. Yeah. So look for that when you are looking for a certification program. And then another thing you would want to look for is, do they teach the business of coaching? Because it's not a downer if they don't do that, but it's a bonus, where you can learn the same thing in the same organization, right? I have this nature, and I've seen this over the years. Is like I like to go to stores where I can get grocery, furniture, garden stuff, clothes, bags, gifts, uh, everything, right? I just like to go to a one stop shop and buy everything over there. Similarly, when I am looking for softwares to run my program, I don't like to buy like one software for email marketing, one company, another company for social media posting, another company to manage my CRM, another company to manage my invoices, etc. I look for one stop shops because then everything becomes easy. It's easier for me to understand how the support works, this works, that works. And there's one place I can go and I don't have to keep looking for stuff. So it's not a downer, but it just helps if they teach you the business of coaching as well. So think about that. And lastly, Do you feel connected to the program? You have to go by your gut also. Do you feel connected to the program, and do you feel confident about them? Like, do you feel connected to that personality and the vibe? Are you aligned to their coaching methodology? Because, you know, some people don't want to learn Eastern wisdom, and I'm fine with that. That we don't have an alignment, and I respect that, and I'm fine with that, and it's okay for them to not choose this program, right? And they better go for somewhere where they feel aligned, right? Now, do you feel aligned to the methodology that they're teaching, right? Are you confident about the provider, the institute, the individual? And there are various verbal, non-verbal, and excuse me, I'll just take a break. Back. Yes, my throat is acting up. It's talking nonstop, and the water is not warm enough today. I didn't do it well. Yeah. Now, do you feel that, are they showing up? Are they regular? What do you feel about their dealings that you've seen so far online? Do they have enough reviews published? Do they have videos with their past students? There are various different things to look forward to and look for. And I think these are some things that you can do to help you understand whether you feel connected, whether you can trust this program or not. And these are some tips I have for you to choose the right code certification program. And having said that, I end my training for today, where we talked about the five. Just do a quick summary, and then for those of you who are all set, can exit and attend to your duties or whatever you have. And those who feel the need for support, for accountability, and who want to know more about the East Coast certification program can hang around. But I'll do a quick summary. So we talked about the five important techniques that masterful coaches use in their coaching. And the number one was being very specific about who they serve, active listening, powerful questioning, keeping the client focused, and visualization, and helping your client to overcome their mental conditioning through various different techniques, right? And then we talked about the five different things you should look for when you're looking for a coach certification program. And those were whether it's person driven, institute driven, are they coaching as well? Do they have a human development program where the knowledge of that feeds into the coach certification program? And what is their certification process? Do they teach the business of coaching? And do you feel connected to their methodology, connected to their values, connected to have they published enough reviews, recommendations, videos with past students? And how long, I mean, how consistently they have been doing it. Was it just like fly by night operator? They started it and they stopped, or are they consistent and are they doing it over the years? These things can help you feel confident. So we talked about these things as promised. And I hope you have enough information to help you jumpstart your coaching career and go for it in understanding the masterful coaching techniques and what to look for in an institute. But those of you who feel that, no, I need to learn them, and it looks like I need a system for that, and I need a training program for that, where I learn things in a stepwise way, hang around, because now I am going to talk about what makes the East Coast certification program different and how the East Coast certification program can help you not feeling alone as you're figuring things out. We all want to be part of a community, right? Um, for everything I do, I find a community because it makes it easier. I find a community that's already doing the same thing. So I become part of that community. And it's just very helpful and supportive. Where because people are already into the details of it and doing stuff, it's easier to get your questions answered. It's easier to be on the same journey. It's easier to understand that the struggles you have are not the only one having them. Others are having too. And you're not alone figuring things out with yourself. You have a support system, you have a group, you have a proven process that works, and you have a community, and that keeps you accountable, and that keeps you focused, right? And that's what is there in the East Coast certification program. We do our best to ensure that you complete your coach certification program in 6 months. There is accountability, there are reminders, there are calls, there's community. And because others in your cohort are doing it too, and we encourage you to have a good relationship with other people in your group, and because others are, doing it well too, it just increases your own energy towards learning better, understanding better, and completing before time. And so that helps. Now, this is the only program that we have seen so far where there is a good understanding of using Eastern wisdom, right from Ayurveda to astrology to Yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutras to the chakra sciences and the prana and the energy, and the Western psychology aspects and the Eastern wisdom spirituality aspects, and about sharpening the intellect. We use a lot from the Eastern wisdom, the great Indian culture, the great Eastern wisdom that we have through our books, into what shapes a person's personality. And that's what we teach you, that model in your coaching. I had to use that same model by going through various people, various teachers over many years to help myself. I was seeing a therapist for many years, and it was helpful, but it wasn't fully helpful because it wasn't holistic and it wasn't complete. And I felt like I was just stuck for a long time. And I had to use all of this to heal myself and work on myself. And here I am in front of you. And then I started teaching this, doing workshops on this and helping people and coaching people using the same model. And then gradually I developed it into a coach certification program where you can learn how to coach people using this, right? And it works. It's worked on me, and it's worked on so many of my clients, and it's worked on this model is also working with so many people who have become East coaches and who are coaching other people using this model. So therefore, that's what makes us different. Is that this is the only coach certification program where you have the blend of Eastern wisdom and Western psychology. And this is one of the only coaching certification programs where you are doing something holistic with your clients. Because as I said, I was seeing a therapist, they're working on the mind. But I would go there and like I learned a lot of good things from her. And then after a while, I was like, I know stuff, but it's like I'm not able to take that action, and I'm not able to change things, etc. And I realized I felt I needed something more holistic that acknowledged my culture, that acknowledged the surroundings I was living in, that acknowledged the changes that had happened to me in my body because of certain ways of thinking and being in a certain environment with certain people. I had allowed all of that to happen to me, the energy system shifts, etc. And I felt that something is off here, and I need something bigger and something that's more holistic and well-rounded. And that's when I looked into Panchakosha and started finding the solutions for myself. And I found some really great teachers on the way. And this is the only change, the only program that acknowledges the 5 layers of the being and helps you coach using that, right? So you're actually, the clients make a much faster change through this. Years and years of conditioning. I've shared so many different stories. I just closed an engagement with a client who was repeating her pattern of relationships for the last 25 years, and then we worked together and we talked about work, we talked about careers, and so many different aspects of her life, because those were the outcomes she was looking for. But then we focused on this also, and she was able to change that pattern because something that 25 years, and we were able to do it in less than 6 months, right? So this helps you make rapid transformation because you are working in a holistic way, and thought patterns are not just in your head; they're everywhere, and changes need that. So that's what makes it different. And we have business modules too. So you could either join just the basic process, the basic 6 month code certification training, and I'm pulling up the screen here for you. Yes. So when you go to this, yeah, free training is ending very soon. So when you go through this link where you can make the purchase for the East Coast certification program, the early bird bonus expires in about 2.5 hours from now at 11:30 a.m. IST, December 17th, Sunday. And the cart closes on December 19th, 11:30 a.m. IST. No, December 20th, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Yeah, December 20th. No, yeah, December 20th at on 11:30 a.m. IST. Now, when you come to this link, which I have shared, um, cart closes soon, right? When you come to this link, you will see, and what was I showing you? that we have uh, business modules as well, right? So when you go to program details, you are seeing okay, all the stuff that's received in the program, and like you can see that there is wisdom from the east and the west. Then you're seeing that we also have a complete system to help you build your successful coaching practice. You get 6 months. Now if you go to the buy link, you could either buy the basic, which is now, which is 6 months of code certification training promised by us that we give, and we give, and you get 1 year access to the modules. And the second one is basic plus business, where you are getting 6 months of code certification training, and then after that you're getting 6 months of business training, access to the modules and the calls in the community, and a stepwise process. And as of yesterday, I sat down and I fine tuned that business process further, so that the students can it becomes easier, even easier for them to just go through the steps and set up their business. So you get these 6 months of business setup, and for those who join in the next 2.5 hours till 11:30 a.m. IST, you also get define your coaching thing. So that's what makes us different, that we also teach the business of it, and the courses are recorded. You get the entire east model from me. You have access for a year, and they're self-paced. And if you spend 60 to 90 minutes a week focus time, now everyone's learning pace is different. Some of you may need longer to learn, and that's fine. But on a minimum, if you do that and attend the calls 1 hour each week, 4 hours in a month, you will be able to do this, right? And only you'll have to spend more time in doing your assignments, but we give you techniques on how to do that, and you will be able to achieve this along with your work life, along with your career, along with your balance. And if you don't finish, right, and you get access to coaching scenarios, how to handle them. I've also added this whole new thing about different scenarios. How do you coach an elderly person? How do you coach a couple? How do you coach a youth? How do you coach a person recovering from a narcissistic abusive relationship? Tips for those scenarios are there. And then you work on that niche, go deeper, do your research using the ease model, and you develop your own method around with it, along with all that you've learned in the past, right? And you are able to manage your time. And what if you don't finish? That happens. Like if you don't finish in the 6 months, say you join the basic and you didn't finish in the 6 months, then you can be on a monthly plan where you continue getting access to our support of the calls, etc., and the community, and submission of assignments and approval of reviews of your assignments. Right? You can go on an extension, but I recommend you don't do that. It's better you finish in the 6 months with your cohort, because then you can go ahead and complete. Right now, what if there's a wedding in the family? What if your son is going to college and you're trying to help them with college applications? What if what if you have a new release at work and things like that? You know what? There will always be something. You're adults. There's never going to be a free time for you to like, now I have it, and now I have the time. You're never going to be able to study like the way we studied when we were kids, when an adult was managing all the adult expectations and we were just being kids and studying. No, that's not going to happen in your life. There will always be something. And my recommendation is that sometimes when we're short of time, we actually get a lot more done. And I've seen people with jobs and COVID and health issues and children going to college and everything, and they're able to complete their code certification. And I've seen that the people who are more busy actually get a lot more done. So that's that. And this is the best investment in your career. It's an investment you're taking in yourself to learn some skills so that you can recover this. And as you make this investment, you have a new career, a new profession, a new business out there for you that does not require land, that does not require machinery, that does not require an office, that does not require staff. Imagine if you had to start a business, how much investment you would be doing. And here, all you're doing is in your learning, and that learning is going to stay with you for life. Now, when you do that, it's an investment, and then you have a business that you can set up and you can run and you can recover this. And it all depends on you. Yesterday, somebody booked a call for me, and you can with me and ask me this question. Then how will I recover this? And I said, we are going to teach you everything. You have to follow it, and you will recover your investment very shortly, right? And with the right packaging and the right price points and things like that, and the right marketing and the nurturing of audience. And it also depends on what stage you're at, right? You will be able to recover this, if not 6 months, in a year. That is possible. Yeah. And there's a team to support you. There's a team with sending you reminders about calls. There's a community. There are assignments feedback, and it's not just me. It's like there's a team. There's Ramya ji, She lives in the UK and she heads this program. And there are other students who are ahead of you, who have joined 3 months ahead of you, who are also there to support you, right? And we like to do that. We like to have the juniors with the seniors and everyone together, because then you can see what they're doing and you know what your path looks like. So, and you have an alumni community as well. And that's what I'm saying here. If you are looking to becoming a coach, now is the right time. And yes, I forgot something very important. Program investment will increase after December 2023, because we keep adding value, we keep adding, more and more valuable students who have graduated and completed the East Coast certification program. We have 6 people graduating today. One of them is a daughter of one of our students who graduated last year, so that's very special. And I am so looking forward to that. So I need to get into that meeting now. But if this is what you want to do, then do not delay. Join the East Coast certification program. The card is open till December 20th, 11:30 a.m. IST. And the fast action bonus of define your coaching niche. I've already talked about why that's important. That fast action bonus expires today in about 2.5 hours, right? At 11:30 a.m. IST. So if you are doing, thinking about joining in, then now is the time. Yes, Julie G. I am 62. Is it late for me? No, it's not late for you. In fact, you have so much wisdom of life for 62 years, and it's time to share. This is the time to share with the next generation all that you have learned, all that you have grown, and dealt with. So, and it's time to transfer all that learning into the next generation. This is the vanaprastha stage of life, and that's what you want to do, to teach the next generation. And when you join the coach certification program, you get the exact skills to put all of that wisdom of yours into actionable steps for your clients. So please, Julie G, join us. And if you have signed up for our code certification 5-day training, sorry, you would be getting links to book a call with us. And if you haven't booked, haven't joined that training, and you are thinking about, how do I um, still I want to connect and I want to do this, you would be getting emails from us that you could write back to us. You could respond to me in chat if you want to book a call with us, and we can send you the link. But the calls are for those who are looking to join the coach certification program, and we are looking to serve you. And for those of you who are in a hurry and who are looking at joining the program, I'll share the WhatsApp business link with you, and my assistants will help you. So I'm just trying to, I don't remember all these numbers, and yeah, I'm just sharing that link here. I think that works. 7361775. So if you click on the link that I'm just going to share with you now, you will be able to reach out to us on WhatsApp. But before that, go through the program details, go through the program link. And this WhatsApp is not for um, spamming us, because we don't provide any coaching there. This is for you to, because we get a lot of messages, mere life mein ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya, but we don't coach on WhatsApp. Um, we coach through our programs. So if you're looking to join the program and if you need us to connect with you immediately, I've also shared the WhatsApp link with you in the chat, and you can click on that and connect with us. And I'm sharing the program link details again. I've already shared the fees with you. The basic 6 months training is from 3,30,400 rupees, which includes 18% GST. And for the US, for USD, it's $3,500, and there's a payment plan for both. And for those who want to join the basic plus business and get that deal for another 6 months of coaching and training and setting up your business with us just for a little bit of additional money, that's 3,99,900 rupees with 18% GST included. And in dollar terms, it's $4,235. So, yes, you have your links here in place. Don't delay. Now is the time, because you don't want to waste a single moment to reach out to the millions of people waiting out there, waiting for you to show up as a coach and share your wisdom, share your learnings with them, and make their lives beautiful, right? Create a life of success and fulfillment for them, with them. Now is the time, and program investment value is going to rise. On December 20th is when we close card. And in 2.5 hours, the ease early bird bonus of define your coaching niche, and so that you can practice the masterful technique number one, which is being very specific about who you serve, can be satisfied. Yes. So looking forward to seeing all of you inside the program. More the merrier, and it's fun. And we learn a lot from the students as well, and their angles that they take in coaching and the angles that they take to solve the problems for their niche. And we look forward to that. So looking forward to a wonderful journey of learning with you. And I might do an open house 1 hour before the early bird bonus expires. And for those of you who have registered for this 5 day training, will also get a link to the open house. Yes. Thank you. And thank you so much all for being here. Bye bye.